Hey,
Hey
good
guys.
morning, everybody.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Welcome to another episode or another week of Unlocking You 2.0. I forgot I had to start. I was like, okay, Spencer, go ahead.
Me
Hey,
too.
Balwinder Marwaha here, your transformational leadership coach, alongside with Spencer Bodden, certified emotion code body code practitioner. We're talking about burnout this week, and you know, are you experiencing it? Are you getting burned out? Are you on the verge of being burnt out? There's so many people out there, especially in, somewhat trying times that we have right now, that are really feeling extreme pressure, and a different variety of things that may be pushing them to the brink of being burnt out, or they're already burnt out. So, Spencer, let's talk about today about finding a creative outlet to get this burnout out, to not let it get you down.
Absolutely. And thank you, thanks so much for the introduction. And today, like you said, we're talking about that finding a creative outlet. And
Mhm.
what's really, really interesting is in the emotion code, body code, whatever it is, we actually generate this emotion called creative insecurity. It's something that's kind of lingering in the background. And to be perfectly
Yeah,
honest, this for me is one of my favorite emotions to talk about and release because us as
yeah.
people, we're designed to create things, right? That's the
Mhm.
reason why we're on this planet. We need to be able to
Yeah,
create things, whether that's a business, a relationship, artwork, music. Like we're
yeah,
creative beings. Because if you asked a person, you're like, oh, let's just say you go ask a super successful person, hey, how did you attract that business in your life? They'd look at you like you're an insane person, and they'd be like, no, I created this business, right?
yeah.
So it's all about creation, and it's in creative insecurity is all about insecurity with the act of creation. So when I'm doing a session or if
Mhm.
I'm working with someone and I find creative insecurity, I am so excited to be able to get rid of this emotion, because or at least release this emotion that's trapped in there, because it's preventing them from creating the life that they want. And that can be with anything, right? Like let's just say you're trying to find a creative outlet to kind of get all the stress out, but if you have this creative insecurity and you're trying to
Mhm.
paint, you're trying to draw, you're trying to do these
Yeah.
creative things, but you feel so stuck and you're just like, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. You're having all this insecurity about this creative process. And the thing is that translates into many other things in our lives, like creating the perfect relationship, excuse me,
Yeah.
like creating the business that you want, creating the income that you want, creating the life that you want. This creative insecurity shows up in so many other places, and rather than just, oh, I want to create a picture
Yeah.
and kind of de-stress. So
Okay.
that's kind of what's going on in the background. That's kind of preventing us from taking action on that creative outlet, which then
Mhm.
that stress leads to burnout and all that kind of stuff. So what can we do? Obviously we can do a session to release that creative insecurity, which I think is going to be
Mhm.
extremely helpful. But
Absolutely.
what can we do on the conscious side, Valley?
Yeah, Spencer, I love what you said because listen, if you've got creative insecurity, even if consciously you want to do something creative, you might find it challenging.
Exactly.
Maybe you love music, but you have a hard time dancing to music because you're like, my arms and legs go opposite directions. Well, maybe there's some creative insecurity that's preventing you from being able to dance.
Yeah.
But let me talk about a few of the great things you can do, the outlets you can find to burn out, to get out this, stress, which is ultimately leading to burnout, right? So, if you're facing stress and, who isn't really, that's a huge problem in our lives.
Yeah.
Here's some things you can do. Number one, music. Music is absolutely amazing on so many different levels. Now, I am going to put one caveat on this is that if you're listening to music that has a lot of negativity in it, it will affect you. Your
Mm,
body will pick up on that negativity. So if your music's talking about hate or bad relationships or anger, that's going to instill that in you. So just be careful there. But
yeah.
let's talk about, there's so many kinds of music. You could have like dance music and you could pump up and get up and dance. You could do classical music, which is therapeutic in its own way.
Mm,
Um, you could listen to religious hymns. There's meditation music. Like there's so many different forms of music. I could spend a a whole 10 minutes talking about the different kinds of music and the different reactions our brain creates with that music, because that's an important factor. When you're doing these things, when you're finding a creative outlet, is what is the reaction your brain is getting? Because
Mm,
that reaction is what's going to bring your stress levels down, prevent you from burning out. So picking the right music for the right time is very important. Okay. Then, excuse me. Then the next thing is, let's say it's not music. Let's say it's physical activity. So let's say it's exercise. There's so many forms of that. You could go outside for a walk. You could, go do like a day trip and go hiking. You can do workouts at home, whatever it may be. Any kind of physical activity or exercise is really, really going to help, because what does exercise do? It is a stimulant. It
mm,
releases the endorphins. It creates that connection. You get the dopamine, and it really, really brings down those stress levels. You can draw. Drawing or painting is absolutely incredible. And Spencer Smile, he lights up because he's a really good drawer and he's a good painter and he loves doing that. But um, when you do that, the actual movements of the pencil or the movement of the brush strokes triggers a reaction in your mind.
mm,
And this is scientifically proven. So when you're doing this, it's doing all sorts of wonderful things for your mind in the background. So you may think like, oh, it's drawing or painting. Like, what's that going to do for me? Well, you'd be shocked of what it's going to do for you. In fact, even things like gardening. Now, I know we're coming on to winter, so probably not happening, but
mm.
spending time out in your garden, therapeutically for your mind, it does so many things. It's a great
Yeah,
outlet. Now, I could just go on forever and ever with so many different things that you can do, because ultimately what we need to do is find out, hey, look, you're stressed out, you're on the verge of being burnt out, or you're already burnt out. How can we take this back? What are the
yeah,
things we can do? And if you don't know where to start, that's where Spencer and I come in. Because maybe you've gotten to the point where you're already burnt out. Maybe you're a nurse working in a hospital, or maybe you're working front line somewhere and it's been like go, go, go nonstop ever since COVID hit.
mm,
Maybe it's the opposite. Because of COVID, you're out of a job and that's causing you all sorts of stress and it's causing you to be burnt out because you're stuck at home all day.
yeah,
Whatever it may be, we can help you fix this problem. So here's what you do is you connect with either Spencer, you connect with myself, either way. We will help you consciously. I can help you and coach you and guide you and find out what activity it is you can do, how we can introduce this into your life without you going crazy or, panicking. Spencer can remove the emotional baggage or that remove that creative insecurity that's preventing you from introducing it to your life, whatever it may be.
yeah,
So connect with us, because listen, at the end of the day, Spencer and I, we don't want you burnt out. We don't
no.
want you facing stress. We don't want you having lots of problems. And we're here to provide that solution. So, Spencer, anything else you'd like to add?
No, that was great. I'm super, super excited about that because like I said at the beginning, creative
Hmm.
insecurity is literally my favorite emotion to release. It's so because being creative,
Yeah,
it's so important. And yeah, no, I think you said it perfectly. Now, and as far as otherwise connecting with us, either just send us a message, comment on this video, find a way to get in touch with us, and I'd be happy
mm,
to do a complimentary session. Ballwinder here would be happy to do a free consultation as far as like a
yeah,
coaching session goes. We
absolutely.
can tag team it, whatever needs to be, right? But aside from that, also check out leadyouриdeallife.com. You're really going to be able to, when you go there, there's a couple of videos that you can watch that are really going to inspire you kind of and start to really guide you in that path of where you want to go and get you to think about
Mm,
what's possible out there. And
yeah,
it's going to show you the fact how we're working, combining the conscious and the subconscious together. So then that way you're as effective as possible and creating and manifesting the dreams you want in your life, right? On
absolutely.
top of that, we also have our webinar every single Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um,
Mhm.
at www.2020recoverymanual.com, because let's face
Mhm.
it, 2020 has been crazy. And like you say, at the beginning of this month, how many days did we have until the end of the year? It was like,
It was in 92 at the beginning of this month, so
yeah.
less than
So
that now.
time's a ticking,
Yeah.
right? We only have these last 3 months, but come to this webinar and then you can really see how we can turn around the rest of 2020, despite the fact that it's only 3 months left, and set yourself up for the rest of your life after that. So you're definitely going to want to be on this webinar. There's only a few spots left. It's coming up on Thursday. Last time we sold out completely. This time, we have 21, 22 spots left, something like that.
About that. And just to add, there's no cost for the webinar. We
Yeah.
do sell out, as in there's no more space for people to join, but
Yeah.
there is no cost. I just want to tell you, Spencer and I are both in Canada, so as many of you know, that this week is heading into long weekend. We've got Thanksgiving weekend, and then
Right.
you've got Christmas not far from here. But
Jeez.
what I'll say to you is, if you want to turn your life around before Christmas, get in touch with us, because
Yeah.
that's what we'll do for you.
Absolutely.
With that said, thank you very much, everyone.